vacuum casting, right? You know vacuum. So of course, as soon as we see vacuum casting, we know that somehow we have to create a vacuum, right? We have to remove the air and remove the pressure and so on, right? So it uses sand mold, but held it together by vacuum pressure rather than by a chemical binder. Sand mold is there, but to keep all the sand mold together, to hold it together, we use vacuum pressure, right? The term vacuum refers to mold making rather than the casting operation itself. When you say vacuum casting, it is not that you are using the vacuum during casting. You are using the vacuum to hold the mold. So it is important to remember that the term vacuum is during the mold making process rather than the casting process. It was developed in Japan around 1970. So a very new method. Other types of casting have been there for 1,000 years. So this vacuum casting is much. So now here a schematic diagram, if you see a schematic illustration of the vacuum casting process. Note that the mold has a bottom gate. The mold has a bottom gate. So A before and B after immersion of the mold into the metal mold. So now this is the mold part. This comes with a piston system, so that you can put it there and then you can remove it. And right, the mold is there, the gate is there, and this whole system is there. And you have, say, an induction furnace. If you see these induction coils, induction furnace, and the molten metal is there. Then by this piston system, you place it inside, right? You place it inside, and then you will create a vacuum. Here you will create a vacuum. Once you create the vacuum, then the molten metal will go inside, right? Molten metal will go inside. So the casting will now be here. So you see the molten metal will go inside the gaps. So because this gate is there, you put it here and you create the vacuum. So though you create the vacuum here, right? Now because of it, all the metal goes inside the mold. So in a way, I can say that yes, it is a casting operation also. So whatever you want to say now, right? They tried to tell us that the vacuum is used in the molding process, right? But if the molten metal goes inside the mold because of the vacuum pressure, then it is a casting process also. So yes, the vacuum is used so that the molten metal can completely fill inside the mold. Okay. Once again, whenever we see advantages and disadvantages, you can always pause the lecture and try to think of it yourself, and then see that what advantages and disadvantages you could come up with, do they match? So advantages: easy recovery of the sand since no binders are used, vacuum is used only. Sand does not require mechanical reconditioning done when binders are used. This is important. First, that to remove the sand, it is easy because there are no binders. Second, because no binders were there, so you did not have to reprocess the sand, clean it and use it, right? You just use it directly. And since no water is mixed with sand, moisture related defects are also avoided. Disadvantages: it is a slow process and it cannot be readily adaptable to mechanization. So slow in both cases. Slow first of all by itself, and then because you cannot mechanize it, so then you cannot increase the speed of the casting process. Okay. As I said just a few minutes ago, if you remember, that you see sand casting is the major big one. The other ones are specialized methods. So for example, this vacuum molding will be done only in a very special rare company. So we know about it in general, we can say a little about it, but we are not going into a lot of details of each one of them, that exactly how they are done. But if you and I end up in a company where this vacuum molding is actually being done, then within 1 day, 2 days, we exactly learn how it is done, and then we become champions of it, right? So with that first category, expendable mold, the mold will be lost, will be broken, will be melted, whatever. And permanent pattern, the pattern will be used again and again. So that whole category of casting methods is done, where if you try to recount now, sand casting, shell mold casting, plaster mold casting, and finally which one? Vacuum casting, right? So these are all types of expendable mold. The mold will be expended, used up, broken, and the pattern will be permanent. Now the second category that we are doing, only a few types will be there. The mold is still expendable, but the pattern is also expendable. The pattern also will not be reused. The pattern will not be used again. So there are only a few methods in this, but remember that the mold is gone and the pattern is also gone. So both mold and pattern are to be made again and again. One mold, one pattern, one casting. For the second casting, another mold, another pattern, and so on. So the first method has many names: expendable pattern casting, lost foam casting, evaporative pattern casting. All three names are there because different people were using it in different parts of the world. They gave these names, and it is the same method: expendable pattern casting, lost foam casting, evaporative pattern casting. The names are directly explaining what the methods are. If you think, then oh, foam will be used or evaporative. So well, let us see. Uses a mold of sand packed around a polystyrene foam pattern, which vaporizes when molten metal is poured into the mold. So the only thing is that it is a standard sand casting, but the pattern that you make is not wooden, is not metal. It is made of the material called polystyrene. Where have you seen polystyrene in your normal world? We have told you many times in material science, but here also. You see, to me, I keep on asking you these questions. Think of it yourself. Look at it, solve it yourself, think. You see, my thing is that you are becoming engineers. You are becoming engineers. This course is not there that you try to memorize this course or something, repeat it in the exams, get a grade, and that's it. No, you have to become real world engineers. Engineers are practical people. So every time I try in my courses to ask you, where do you see in your own house? Where do you see in your normal life? So where have you seen polystyrene? Good. All those people who are saying two things, very common things. Your teacup, the white one, right? Some are paper teacups. Others are that white material. It is stronger than paper, but this is a polymer. So that is polystyrene. The others who were saying packing material, whenever your computer or your other things come, small pieces of white material are used all around to pack as a support. So that is polystyrene, right? That is polystyrene. So you can get polystyrene in a sheet, and you can cut the pattern shape very easily with a normal knife, right? So the pattern will be made of the polystyrene foam. Lost foam process, lost pattern process, evaporative foam process, full mold process, all are the same names, right? Now, sprue, risers, gating system, internal cores, all those will be there as in normal casting, right? But the great thing is that the mold does not have to be opened, and it does not have to be made into the cope and drag sections if you want. It's up to you. You can make it in one piece, right? Because this polystyrene is a very low melting temperature material. So the pattern is there. It is a single piece pattern, not a two piece pattern. You put it inside the sand mold, whatever you do, right? And you pack it. So, okay, you have a cope part, you have a drag part. Okay. You place the single piece pattern, right? Now you close the whole sandbox, right? And you pour the metal. When you pour the metal, this foam, this polystyrene, will completely become gas, It will not melt, it will completely become gas because it melts at a very low temperature, but at 200, 300, 400 it becomes gas. So through the vents it goes out. Now there is no pattern inside, only the cavity is there. Normally in sand casting, you take the pattern, you solidify the sand everywhere, right? Pressurize it. Later on you have to open the cope and the drag so that you can remove the pattern. This time you don't have to remove the pattern. So this is the major huge advantage. The pattern is very low cost. Polystyrene is no cost, right? In 1 real you will get 20, 30 patterns maybe, right? Very low cost. And you don't have to remove the pattern, okay? So, right, you have the cup and the sprue and so on. This is the foam pattern. You spray it just so that it does not stick. It does not stick to the sands and so. Then you put it. So maybe you don't have to do a cope and drag, right? You directly put it. But this portion of the sprue and so on has to be there. No riser, nothing required, because you pour it, it will completely fill it, and that's it. Sand is of course there around it. The mold box is there, the sand is there, right? So foam pattern is placed in the mold box, sand is compacted around the pattern. That has to be done whatever way you do. Either you do it in 2 pieces in cope and drag, or on a single piece, it's up. And then of course you pour the molten metal. The molten metal is poured into the portion of the pattern that forms the pouring cup and sprue. As the metal enters the mold, the polystyrene foam is vaporized ahead of the advancing liquid, thus filling the mold cavity. So the metal, and because there will be small vents, so the gas, the vapor will go away, right? So now I am showing you another drawing of the same thing. This is the pattern, right? Expandable pattern, lost form. This is the pattern. Many times what you do to speed up the casting operation, you make 4 of them in the same box, right? So there is one pouring, and then there will be a gating to this one and this one and this one and that one. So you'll have to of course make a gating system. But if you have a bigger box where you use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at the same time, for example, the gating system of course takes some time, but if it is there, now you will make 8 castings at the same time, right? So this is called a cluster assembly. Cluster means many of them are there. Cluster is there. And once it is there, then again that you have to coat it so that it does not stick to the sand and so forth. So that is of course there. So patterning, then the cluster assembly, then the whole cluster assembly is coated or sprayed and so on, and then it is compacted. The whole thing is compacted in sand, and then you pour, and from one it goes to all of them. So now it is shaken out, and inside you don't have to remove any pattern because the pattern became vaporized and it went away, right? So the whole process is there, and you can see that this is a brilliant method. It can be adapted by cluster system to provide more castings at the same time, and you don't have to remove the pattern. So the pattern is lost, yes, but because the cost of the pattern is nothing, it's a very small cost, therefore losing the pattern is not a big issue. And the quality of the casting will be very good because the surface finish and the dimensions will be very. Advantages and disadvantages very quickly. The pattern need not be removed from the mold. Major advantage, it simplifies and speeds up the mold making because 2 mold halves are not required. Disadvantage, a new pattern is needed for every casting. So economic justification is required that should we do it or should we not do it. Let us stop here for today and continue next time inshallah. And please, the same message, that try to finish it, revise it before you come to the next class so that you are always ready for the online sessions and a good interactive session of question and answers. Thanks a lot. Mar salama.